Liam Rourke stood at the window of the starship Horizon Dawn, watching the blue and violet clouds of Zerinthia swirl below. It was his first time on an alien world, and he had been chosen as the youngest human ambassador to ever meet the Volari. People. His hands trembled, but he tried to hide it. He'd studied their customs, their history, and their long list of confusing traditions. Still, one small mistake could cause big problems. Beside him stood the boxer sealed, silver pod about the size of a small freezer. It had been shipped from Earth's deep storage labs with a note: "It's approved companion-class organism. Safe, cultural use only." Liam hadn't opened it. He didn't need to. He was told it was a gift-a-pet. It's what the Volari princess had asked for, after all. Something small, soft, and loyal. The Earth Council had chosen a pet from an old database and rushed it to him for the mission. He had imagined it might be a fluffy dog or maybe a clever cat. Simple, friendly, peaceful. This will go well, he told himself. It's just a gift. The Horizon Dawn touched down smoothly on the palace landing pad. The sky above Zerinthia shimmered with 3 suns. Trees as tall as buildings waved their purple leaves in the wind. Strange bird-like creatures chirped from crystal towers. Liam followed the Volari guards through golden halls, each wall glowing with soft light. It all felt magical, like a dream. At the grand hall, Princess Kalira waited. She stood tall and graceful, her silver skin shining. Her eyes were large and bright blue, full of curiosity. She wore a gown that looked like it was woven from stars. "Ambassador Rourke," she greeted warmly. "Welcome to Zerinthia," Liam bowed. "It's an honor, Princess Kalira. Bring peace and a gift." He gestured to the silver pod, which had been carefully placed on a low platform. A small crowd of Volari nobles and scientists gathered around, all eager to see the human pet. "We are excited," Kalira said, smiling. "You humans speak so often of these pets. We thought it would be good to share in this custom." Liam smiled back, confident now. "This one was chosen from Earth's best database. It is safe, gentle, and trained to be a loyal friend." He pressed the button. The pod hissed. The nobles leaned closer. Mist escaped from the sides. Then the front of the pod slowly opened with a soft click. Everyone waited. Then something moved inside at first. It looked like a pale figure sitting curled up. Long dark hair fell over its face. The air grew still. Slowly the figure raised its head and glowing red eyes looked out. Several nobles gasped. Someone dropped a data pad. "No." Liam stepped in front. "She's not dangerous. She doesn't know where she is." The princess looked at him closely. "Do you know what she is?" Liam hesitated. "I thought she was a pet. That's what the Earth Council sent. I swear I didn't know." Kalira looked back at the strange woman. Her eyes were now dimmer, her strength fading. With a soft cry, the woman collapsed. Gasps echoed through the hall. Liam rushed to her side and caught her gently before she hit the ground. Her body was cold, but he could feel her heart beating, weak but alive. "We need to help her," he said. "She is not what we asked for," the princess replied. "But she is here now. We must find out the truth." As the guards carefully lifted the woman and carried her away to the medical chamber, Liam stood beside the now empty pod. A cold feeling settled in his chest. Whatever she was not a pet, and now everything was about to change. The medical wing of the Volari Palace was quiet and filled with soft light. Everything inside looked smooth and clean, made of shining stone, soft cloth, and strange glowing plants that healed with light. Liam sat beside the resting woman in a room, guarded by 2 silent Volari soldiers. She lay on a floating bed, wrapped in silver sheets. A small scanner floated above her, checking her health every few seconds. Her breathing was slow but steady now. Liam couldn't stop thinking. How had this happened? He had been so sure it was. A simple gift-a-pet for Princess Kalira. Didn't expect to bring an unknown human-like woman in a stasis pod. And now the peaceful mission had turned into something else. Something strange. Suddenly the door opened. Princess Kalira stepped in, her expression calm but serious. "She is stable," she said, looking at the woman. "Our healers say her body is human, but not the same as yours." Liam stood up quickly. I'm sorry, I really didn't know. Earth sent this pod through a very old system. Maybe it was a mistake. Kalira nodded slowly. It was. But maybe not just by accident. There is something more here. Liam looked back at the woman. Her face was peaceful now, and the red glow in her eyes was gone. She looked almost normal, just pale and tired. She looked so afraid when she woke up, Liam said softly. Like she thought we were enemies. May not remember where she came from, Kalira replied. She's been asleep for a long time. Our scans show her stasis lasted over 200 years. Liam turned, surprised. 200 years? Yes, Kalira said. Your people were not even exploring the stars back then. Liam felt a chill run down his spine. Who was this woman? And why had she been sleeping for 2 centuries? Just then, the woman stirred. Her fingers moved. Her eyes opened slowly, not glowing this time but still strange like silver moons. Liam stepped closer. Hello? Can you hear me? She looked at him confused, then at Kalira and the guards. Her body tensed. It's okay, Liam said quickly. You're safe. No one here will hurt you. She tried to speak, but her voice came out dry and cracked. Kalira handed Liam a small glass of clear blue liquid. Liam carefully lifted it. To her lips, she drank slowly, her eyes never leaving his face. After a moment, she whispered, Where? Am I? You're on the planet Zerinthia, Liam said gently. My name is Liam. I'm a human ambassador. This is Princess Kalira of the Valeri people. The woman blinked. Zerinthia, Valeri. Her voice was soft but haunting. Held sadness, as if the words reminded her of something lost. What's your name? Kalira asked kindly. The woman hesitated. Avon, I think. My name is Avon. Liam smiled gently. Avon, that's a beautiful name. She looked at him again. Her eyes were filled with questions. Why did you wake me? Liam hesitated. I thought you were something else. Pet. I know it sounds strange, but a pet? Avon asked, confused. I am not. A pet. No, of course not, Liam said quickly. It was a mistake. We didn't mean to, but she looked away. I was forgotten, left in that box, like an object. Her voice trembled. Liam felt a deep sadness in her words. I'm sorry, Avon, he said. I didn't know, but now you're awake, and we want to help. Avon didn't answer. She stared at the ceiling as if lost in another world. Princess Kalira looked at Liam. She needs rest and answers. Perhaps your Earth Council can explain this. I'll contact them, Liam said. But I have a bad feeling. She's really from 200 years ago? I'm not sure they'll know either. Kalira turned to leave. We'll keep her safe for now, but be careful, Liam. Some on this planet already fear her. Liam nodded, watching Avon close her eyes again. He stayed with her for another hour, thinking. He wondered what Avon had seen before she was put to sleep. What had she done? Why had someone sealed her away and forgotten her? She was human, or close to it. But she wasn't normal. She had sharp eyes, fangs, and strength that no normal human had. She moved like a shadow and looked like a dream. A dream from a forgotten time, and yet under all of that, she seemed more lost than dangerous. A tight earpiece, her badge read, Central Earth Records Division. You're sure about the pod ID? She asked, her voice sharp. Double quotes. Yes, Liam said. It was labeled Noctis Class Specimen. Serial number 12. The woman on the screen blinked, then her face turned pale. That file is restricted, she said. Very old. One moment. The screen flickered. When it came back, the woman spoke more carefully. Ambassador Rourke, where is the specimen now? She's alive, Liam said. Name is Avon. She's awake and she seems scared and confused. She isn't hurting anyone. The unit wasn't meant to be reactivated, the woman replied. She's from Project Noctis, a discontinued program. Liam leaned forward. What kind of program? There was a pause. Project Noctis was a classified experiment during Earth's early expansion, the woman explained. Humans were trying to create a new type of explorer. One who could survive on dangerous planets without help. No sunlight, low oxygen, hostile creatures. The answer, they thought, was fear-based evolution. Fear-based. Liam asked. Yes. She said they used stories' legends to inspire the design. Myths from Earth. Vampires, ghosts, shadows. They made people who could scare others just by standing in the dark. But something went wrong. The project was shut down. Most of the Noctis units were destroyed. A few were put in deep stasis. Liam felt cold. So, Avon was built too. Survive fear. To live in darkness. Yes, the woman said. But we thought she was gone. Liam ended the call quietly. His thoughts were spinning. Avon wasn't just an accident or a lost passenger. She was part of a forgotten chapter in human history created to live like a creature from old stories. Not evil. Not dangerous by nature. Just different. And now she was awake in a galaxy that had moved on without her. Later that day, Liam returned to the healing chamber. Avon was sitting up, wrapped in a soft cloak given by the Valari. She looked stronger, but still quiet. She noticed Liam and gave a small nod. You came back? Of course, he said. I promised I'd help. Avon looked at her hands. I remember a few things now. Dark rooms. Voices giving orders. Tests. They said I was special, useful. Then one day they put me in the pod. Said it was temporary. That was 200 years ago, Liam said softly. Her eyes darkened. So Earth forgot me? Liam didn't know what to say. He sat beside her. They were scared, he said finally. Not of you, but of what they created. But you're not a monster, Avon. You're a person. Avon smiled a little, but it was sad. A person built to live in the dark. Just then, Princess Kalira entered the room, holding a glowing tablet. Liam, we have a problem. She handed him the tablet. A news stream showed crowds outside the Palace Valari, citizens holding signs, some glowing with fear symbols. One read, Shadow Girl equals hidden weapon. They think she's dangerous, Kalira said. Rumors are spreading. Hey, some say she's a secret human weapon sent to control us. I never meant for this, Liam said, standing. We have to calm them. Avon stood too. No, they have a right to be afraid. Liam turned to her. Why? You haven't hurt anyone. Avon looked down, but I could. I feel it inside. When I woke up in that room, I could sense everyone's fear. It almost gave me power. That's how they made us. To feed on fear just. A little not like hunger, more like energy. Kalira stepped closer. But you didn't use it to attack. Avon looked at her with clear eyes. No, I didn't want to. I don't want to be what they made me. Silence filled the room. Then Kalira spoke gently. Perhaps that's what makes you more human than you know. Liam looked at her and nodded. We still have time to fix this. We'll tell the truth. We'll show them you're not a threat. Avon looked at them both. If I stay, I must. Learn who I really am, not what Earth wanted. Not what Zerinthia fears. Just me. And with that, the shadows of her past began to lift, just a little. But beyond the palace, those who feared her were already planning their next move. 2 days had passed since Avon woke from her long sleep. Inside the palace, everything remained calmed outside. The city of Zerinthia was full of noise, questions, and fear. Crowds had grown at the palace gates. Some were curious, some angry, and others simply afraid. They had heard stories of glowing red eyes, of strange powers, of an old Earth experiment now walking among them. Liam watched the news stream on his data tablet. Protest signs filled the screen. Words like creature, dark gift, and unknown threat scrolled across the banners. Some people believed Avon was a weapon. Others thought she had come to take over their minds. Avon sat in the room. Behind him, quiet, watching the same footage from another screen. She didn't look angry. She looked tired. They're afraid of me, she whispered. Liam turned toward her. They're afraid of the idea of you, not you. Avon shook her head. Sometimes fear becomes stronger than truth. I was made to survive fear, remember? I know how it feels when it grows too big. Liam sat beside her. You can change that. We still have time. She looked down at her hands. But what if they're right? What if I'm more dangerous then? I think you had the chance to hurt someone, Liam said. You didn't. You were scared, but you didn't lose control. That means something. Avon didn't answer, but a small part of her wanted to believe him. One of the advisors, Elder Veus, frowned. This woman was made in secret by humans. What if she is only pretending to be peaceful? Liam leaned forward. She didn't ask to be created. She was forgotten, left to sleep in a pod for 200 years. But she carries fear like a cloak, another advisor said. Our scanners cannot fully read her energy. That concerns us. Evan stood slowly. I don't want to cause trouble. If you want me to leave, I will. I can disappear. Kalira shook her head. That will only feed the fear. Liam nodded. Then let her speak. Let her go outside. Show the people that she's not hiding. At the table went silent. You want to let her walk into a frightened crowd? Elder Veus asked. No, Liam said.
Right.
I want her to walk into their hearts.
Day.
The next day, the palace gates opened. Thousands had gathered in the city square. Guards stood on rooftops, and drones hovered overhead, recording every moment. Avon stepped onto the platform. She wore a white robe stitched with glowing threads, given to her by Princess Kalira. It shimmered in the sunlight, softening her pale skin and hiding the marks on her back. Beside her stood Liam. At first, no one spoke. The crowd was still, silent. Then Avon began to talk. My name is Avon, she said, her voice strong but calm. I was made by humans a long time ago. Not born, but created. I was designed to survive fear, to live in places with no sun and no hope. She looked around, but I am not just what they made. I have thoughts, feelings, memories. I don't want to live in darkness. I want to live among the stars. A few people whispered in the crowd. Some looked unsure. Others stared with wide eyes. Evan continued. I am not perfect. I don't even know who I really am yet. But I know this Sci am not your enemy. Then something unexpected happened. A small Volari child stepped forward from the crowd. Her mother reached for her, but the girl had already moved. She walked up to Avon and looked up at her. You don't look scary, the girl said softly. Avon knelt down, her red eyes now calm. I don't feel scary either. The girl reached out and gently touched Avon's hand. A ripple went through the crowd. The tension broke. Some people smiled. Others looked confused, but less afraid. Liam felt a wave of relief wash over him. Evan stood slowly. She didn't say anything else. She didn't need to. The crowd began to change. Not all at once, but something important had started. For the first time since waking, Evane felt something she hadn't felt in centuries. Hope. The sun had just set over the tall silver towers of Zerinthia. 3 moons rose in the night sky, casting a pale glow over the peaceful city. For a while, everything seemed quiet. People had started to accept Avenant fully, but enough to stop calling her a monster. Avenant now walked the palace gardens alone in the moonlight. She had become calmer, more open, even smiling when children greeted her. But deep inside, she still felt like a stranger in this world. She didn't sleep much. Her body didn't need it. Instead, she wandered at night thinking. Tonight she paused near a glowing tree with blue leaves. She closed her eyes and listened. She didn't hear birds. She didn't hear the wind. What she heard was whispering, faint, cold voices, not from people, from something deeper. Her eyes snapped open. The shadows beneath the tree were moving not like wind, but like they were alive. Avon stepped back. Suddenly, a sharp presence brushed against her mind. It wasn't speaking words, but it was watching. Waiting at the same time, inside the palace, Liam sat with Princess Kalira in the command room. He was reading a new report sent from Earth. Project Noctis had 12 test subjects, Liam read aloud. 5 were destroyed during early experiments. 3 were lost during a transport crash. 2 were confirmed inactive. And 2 were marked as escaped. Kalira leaned forward. Escaped. Liam nodded. They went missing before the project was shut down. Earth never found them. That was over 2 centuries ago. Do you think they could still be alive? Kalira asked. I don't know, Liam said. But if Avon survived this long, maybe they did too. Before Kalira could respond, a guard entered the room. Your Highness, there's a disturbance in the garden. Lady Avon is requesting immediate assistance. Liam ran through the halls and reached the garden quickly. He found Avon standing under the glowing tree, staring into the darkness. Dirt. Eyes were glowing faintly red and sharp, but not dangerous. He stepped closer. Avon, what's wrong? She didn't look at him. Who? She finally turned to him. The others. One of them is near. I can feel it. Liam frowned. Another Noctis. Avon nodded. But different. Darker, I think. One of the ones who escaped. Just then, a strange sound echoed through the garden. Like wind through metal. Cold, sharp, out of the shadows. A figure stepped into the moonlight. It looked human at first. Tall, pale, dressed in black armor that shimmered like oil. But its eyes were pure black, and when it smiled, its teeth were too sharp. Too long, Avon, it said, voice smooth like ice. You finally woke up. Pay what you are. Avon took a step forward. We can choose who we become. Suddenly, Varric's expression twisted. No. You forgot what we are. Let me remind you. He moved like lightning faster than Liam could follow. In a flash, Avon blocked his strike. Their hands collided, energy crackling in the air. A burst of red and black light filled the garden. Trees shook. The guards came running, but stopped when they saw the 2 Noctis locked in battle. Avon pushed Varric back with all her strength. You're not going to hurt anyone here? Varric landed on his feet and smiled again. This isn't over, sister. Can't protect them forever. Then, like smoke, he vanished into the shadows. After the fight, Liam helped Avon back inside. She wasn't hurt, but she looked shaken. That was one of your kind, he said. But he's dangerous. Avon nodded slowly. He never woke with peace, only anger. I think he's been hunting for a long time. Will he come back? Liam asked. Yes, she said. Next time, he may not come alone. Kalira entered the room just as Avon spoke those words. Then we must prepare, she said firmly. If there are more like him, the planet must be warned. But we will not turn against you, Avon. You stood with us. Avon looked at her, surprised. You still trust me? She asked. Kalira gave a small smile. You had a choice. You chose to protect, not destroy. That means more than blood or origin, Liam added. You're not alone anymore. For the first time in her life, for in her creation of Aeon, believed it might be true, but far beyond the city, in the deep space, beyond the stars. Other eyes were watching, and they were not so kind. The days following Varric's appearance were tense. Guards patrolled the palace at all hours. Security was doubled in the city. The skies above Zarenthia shimmered with defense drones, and people whispered about the shadow visitor who vanished like smoke. Still, Council had not made a decision about what to do next. They trusted Avon more now, but the fear had returned. Fear had a way of creeping in, even after peace. Liam walked through the royal library, thinking deeply. Scrolls, data tablets, and old maps covered the tables. He was looking for anything about the remaining Noctis units. Avon entered quietly behind him. You've been here all night, she said gently. Liam looked up and smiled. Couldn't sleep. Thinking about Varric, she sat across from him. Her pale skin looked softer under the library lights. He's not the worst of them, she said softly. There's another. Liam blinked. Another? You're sure? Remembered more during the fight, Avon said. There was one before me, Noctis 11. She was different. Strong, but silent. Cold. They said she stopped listening to orders before the project ended. Liam nodded slowly. You think? She's still alive? I don't know, Avon replied. But if Varric survived, she might have to. They sat in silence for a moment. Then Liam leaned forward. We need to find them before they find us. Meanwhile, in a hidden corner of Zerinthia's underground tunnels, Varric stood in the shadows. He was not alone. Strange whispers filled the air around him. Red lights blinked faintly from a small black device floating in front of him. A hollow voice came from it. She walks with the light now. The Valari accept her. Varric growled. They're fools. She was made for the dark. The voice continued. You failed to turn her. I didn't fail, Varric hissed. She's confused. She's forgotten what she is. There was a pause, then the voice replied, then remind her, or step aside. The red lights blinked off. The air turned silent again. Varric stared into the tunnel wall, deep in thought. If Avon won't join us, he whispered, then she'll fall with them. Back in the palace, a meeting was called. Princess Kalira, Liam Avon, and several Valari leaders gathered in the star room. We've received a strange signal from deep space, Kalira said, showing a hologram above the table. It's an old Earth Code 1 we've never seen before. Avon stood quickly. That's from the Noctis project. Everyone turned toward her. I remember that pattern, she said. It was used to wake sleeping units. A kind of emergency. Liam frowned. Someone's trying to reactivate the others. Kalira looked around the room. Then we may face more than one enemy. Avon stepped forward. Let me go. Let me find them before they're fully awake. Can't. Go alone, Liam said. I won't be, Avon replied. I need someone who still believes in light. Kalira nodded. And take one of our ships, fast and quiet. Soon after, Avon and Liam boarded a sleek scout vessel called the Emberlight. It was small, but fast designed for stealth travel. Inside, it hummed softly as they launched into the stars. As the ship left the planet's orbit, Liam looked at Avon. Are you ready for this? Avon stared out the window at the sea of stars. No, but I know it must be done. The signal deeper into unknown space. Past trading routes, past charted planets, next, into the forgotten corners of the galaxy after 2 days of travel. They reached an asteroid field. The signal was stronger now. The name on the side read, Noctis Unit 11, Designation. Cerise Avon stepped forward. She's here. Suddenly a voice echoed through the chamber. You shouldn't have come. The air grew cold. From the shadows, a tall figure stepped into view. Her hair was white like snow. Her eyes were silver and glowing. Her body was thin and sharp, wrapped in armor that shimmered like glass. It was Cerise. I remember you, she said to Avon. You were the quiet one. And you were the strong one, Avon replied. Cerise tilted her head. You're different now. You smell like light. I made a new path, Avon said. Cerise smiled, but it was not warm. Then I will show you the old one. Avon stood, face to face with Cerise, the forgotten Noctis 11. The air inside the cave was cold and heavy. Silence filled the space as the two powerful beings stared at each other. Liam stood beside Avon, ready to help, but deep down, he knew this was something only Avon could face. Cerise stepped forward slowly. They left us to rot in these metal graves. Why do you protect them now? Avon answered calmly. Because not everyone left me. Some still chose kindness. Some believed in second chances. Cerise narrowed her glowing silver eyes. Second chances are for the weak, no, Avon said. Second chances are for the brave. Cerise suddenly moved. In the blink of an eye, she leaped forward with incredible speed. Her blade-like fingers slashed toward Avon, but Avon dodged. Sparks flew as their powers clashed. Red light against silver, Avon's body glowed with soft red energy. Her movements were faster, now graceful and strong. She didn't want to fight. She only blocked, defended. You don't have to do this, Cerise, she said between moves. You can stop. You're not a weapon anymore. But Cerise kept attacking. I was made for war. That's all I know, Liam shouted from behind a rock, then learned something else. Cerise paused for just a second, just long enough for Avon to land a push of energy that knocked her back against the cave wall. The cave shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. The stasis pod sparked. Avin walked toward Cerise, who was still on the ground. I was like you once, Avin said. Angry, lost. But someone believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. Cerise looked up confused. Why would anyone believe in us? Liam stepped beside Avin now. Because you're not just a creation, you're a person. You have a choice. The words echoed in the cave. A long silence followed. Cerise looked at her hands. Her breath was shaky. For the first time, her armor stopped glowing. What if I don't know how to be anything else? She whispered. Avin knelt beside her. Then let us help you. You don't have to do it alone. Back on the ship Emberlight, the journey home began. Avin, Liam, and Cerise sat in the control room. Cerise was quiet, still unsure of herself, but no longer filled with rage. As the stars passed by outside the window, Cerise finally spoke. Is it always this hard, choosing peace? Avin smiled gently. At first, yes, but the more you choose it, the stronger it becomes, Liam added. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to try. Cerise nodded slowly. I'll try. They returned to Zerinthia. The people were nervous again. Another Noctis had arrived. But this time, they saw something different. Cerise didn't come as a fighter. She came with her head bowed, standing beside Avin and Liam. The Volari Council held a special meeting. Princess Kalira listened carefully to every word. Avin could have destroyed her, Liam said to the council. But she didn't. She chose to save her. That means the Noctis are not beyond hope. Kalira looked at Avin. Do you believe Cerise can change? I believe we all can, Avin said. After a long pause, Kalira smiled. Then we welcome her, under your guidance. But we remain cautious, Avin nodded. That's fair. Weeks passed. The fear slowly faded again. People began to accept Cerise the same way they had accepted Avin. Children were curious. Scientists asked questions. Guards relaxed. Avin and Cerise helped the Volari build better security systems, not for war, but for peace. They taught them how to use energy with care and how to understand ancient technology. Avin had finally found something she never had before, a purpose. And one evening, under the glowing stars, she and Liam stood in the palace garden, the same place where it all began. You were supposed to get a small alien pet, Avin teased. Liam laughed. Yeah, instead, I got a powerful space vampire. I was scared when I first arrived, she said, but now I feel safe. Liam smiled. That's all I ever wanted. A neff and quaid for when with and when meant for I right one I so for one said for I was so will I was above. Do you think there are more out there? Others like us? Maybe, Liam said. But if they are, I hope they find someone like you. Far across the galaxy, in a dark station lost in time, a small red light blinked. Another stasis pod stood in silence, not yet open, not yet awake, but waiting for now. The world was at peace, but the story of the Noctis was only just beginning.